Hello and welcome to Awaken the Truth Within with Zoey Gold. Today, let's focus on the results that you're getting, why you're getting results when you're getting, why it seems that in the beginning you are on the road to get a result that you want, and then something happens within you that it seems like it's sabotaging your result. And what happens when you do not get the result that you want and how you can actually change it. So, in the beginning, when you start creating something, just think about the past experiences when you had an idea about something, about the business, about moving to a new country, about having this job, about something. You had an idea. And that idea was creating your pathway towards that result. With that idea, you also were free, you were confident, and you knew. You knew that this is what you want, that this is where you're going, and it kind of felt like you also knew how it's done. Now, let's go back a little bit. In our childhood, well, it also depends on your childhood and how it went, etc. But usually, if you had pretty good childhood, and many people did, that in your childhood, when you saw your life, your future life, you had big ideas, you had big dreams, big goals, and these ideas, they create. So, you came from a good environment, positive environment, pure positive environment. You didn't give attention to what is or what was in that moment. You were pleased with what you had. You were pleased with your life. So it didn't take too much of your attention. You were satisfied. Therefore, all your creative energy went towards the creation, towards this idea for bigger, brighter, amazing, great, successful future. And with this idea, you created it. You moved with certainty and you moved with knowing, and it was fun, it was joy, it was interesting, it was like playing this game at its best, at its fullest, right? Now let me give you another version of how you create ideas. So it can come either from this environment where you're satisfied and when you are eager for more. So this environment does not take your attention and all your creative energy goes towards that idea, towards the creation of bigger, better, amazing thing or result or circumstances or family or whatever that is, right? Or another version of that situation would be that you are working towards something, and let me just give it that way. So you're working towards something, for example, building a particular amount of wealth, or buying a house, or having a marriage, etc. Let's talk about wealth. And you are building the wealth. When you are building the wealth, you're focusing on building it. You're focusing on the idea. You're focusing on the creation. You're moving from certainty and knowing. Now, you've built some wealth. You've built it. You have it. You have the house. You have then, let's say, $100,000 in your bank account. And then something happens. Something in your environment, in you, whatever, something happens that takes away your attention from creation, continuing to create this idea, focusing on this idea, growing, building it. Something takes your attention away and brings your attention to facts, to what is, to either being afraid of losing it, or some kind of conditions show you that you cannot somehow you look at something and it makes you believe, or there is something in you that makes you believe that under these conditions, it's impossible to build it bigger and better, and the money will not be coming, or you will be losing it. So basically, from this idea and creating and going bigger, you go and you refocus on what is, that is either not pleasing, or being afraid of losing it, or being focusing on this fact that you already have as manifestations, $100,000, but being afraid of losing it, being or focusing on something that shows you that you build the belief in yourself that it cannot be done furthermore. So you stop creating and you're focusing on the facts, on what is already created, or not, either on keeping it, being afraid of losing it, etc., etc., etc. So what happens when you stop creating? The fact, the manifestation, whatever you have, it deteriorates, because everything that we know here in this physical universe, it has this idea of deterioration with this time. So you either create and build and grow, and if you stop doing this, the fact that you have $100,000 in your bank account starts deteriorating, because you stop building it, stop focusing on that idea with that knowledge and that certainty, and you started focusing on what is, or on things that the conditions that under these conditions there is a belief in you that this cannot be continued, this cannot be multiplied, this cannot be grown. So you refocus and you stop creating. And it deteriorates, and you lose it. Almost everything. Or you lose it to the point where you're not longer worried about losing it, for example. So you let go of that resistance. You're again in the position when you have nothing to lose. You already lost it. And while it was deteriorating, you were worrying that it is like the money is going away, that you're losing, you're focusing on losing, what is. And then at some point, when you hit that rock bottom, and for everybody, it's a different perception of where that rock bottom is for the particular result or particular situation or money or whatever. Then you get to that position when you have nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. It's done. It's all, gone, destroyed, etc. And you, in some point, like you feel bad, you feel pity, etc., etc. At some point, you stop and you start building again. You have this idea. And because you have nothing to lose, nothing to focus on, nothing that holds you back, you're moving forward again, and you're refocusing on this idea, and you're building and building and building it again. You're focusing on the idea of building, of growing, of having more financial success, more deals, doing things. And again, your focus changes from the facts, from what is, to the idea. And you build it to the amount of how much you focus on this idea and creating and moving from certainty and knowing. And then again, something happens at some point, and you refocus on a fact, on a manifestation, on what is, or on some kind of conditions that trigger in you this belief, or show you this belief that it cannot be done, that it cannot grow further, that this and that cannot be. And again, you stop, and again, it deteriorates, and during its deterioration, you're focusing on what you don't want, on focusing on what is, being afraid of losing, until you hit the rock bottom. And again, for you, that bottom can be different than for another person. And then, ta-da! You have nothing else to lose again. Within you, you let go of something. And you kind of start again, okay, this is the idea, and I'm building it. And many people go from this, there, and here, from focusing on this idea and creation, to focusing on what is, on facts, either on whether these facts and what is really unpleasant and unwanted and devastating, or these conditions just somehow show you that you are losing something and you're focusing on lack, or these conditions somehow trigger the belief in you or build the belief in you that it cannot be done. So again, you from building and creating and operating from this idea and creating it, you focus on facts, on what is. So the bottom line here is keep on building. And let me give you a little bit of a background from this. So it all started like in the beginning, where there was a big bang, right? When there was some kind of something happened, like there was a starting point where from nothing came something. When this universe, this physical place, this physical universe was created. So before that, it was just an idea. And then from that idea came something. So from nothing, from and again, nothing, it could be a bit, these are just words and it's difficult to explain it with words, right? With physical universe words. So from that infinite intelligence, basically from an idea, and that infinite intelligence, there came this physical universe. So from nothing, from the idea, came this physical universe. So the idea is superior than manifestation, than the physical reality. And what you often do when you focus on facts and when you focus on what is, you put what is superior to the idea. And that's when everything gets messed up. And what happens is, if you take that idea, if you remember that feeling the last time when something actually worked for you, whether in your business or in your life or in your relationship, you had that idea, you had that the creation was coming from that idea, and you were building it and growing it. Continue do that. You can be aware of facts and you can be aware of your manifestations, but you do not have to put it as a superior to your idea, as a superior to building and growing. You can know that they're there and they have their purpose. It's basically the manifestation of what you did in the past. That is what you see now. Don't allow the things that are unpleasant in this moment, these facts, take away your attention. Go back to the idea. Go back to building. Go back to this expansion and growth and going towards that idea. Go there. Stay there. Put that, the creative power in you. Give it the superiority. Give this creative power, this idea, more superiority than the manifestation, than what is. And continue building and growing. Because what happens when and especially when something like unpleasant is happening or conditions that you're not happy with, they take away your attention. You do it. You allow yourself to look at it and give all your attention to that. And that way, when you do that, you stop creating, you stop operating from this idea, from building and growing it and making it even bigger, right? And when you like, for example, you operate from the idea, but then you stop and you check whether it's here yet. Has my bank account changed? Like, has anything changed? When you stop to check whether it's here yet or not, you give your attention to facts again. And you put facts superior to your idea, and you stop creating. In that moment, when you're not operating from that idea, from that knowing, from that certainty, and you look at the fact, it's not here yet, you put the fact superior over that idea. And you stop creating in that moment. And as soon as you stop creating, the fact deteriorates. So, the bottom line from all this discussion is you know how to create. And sometimes you do it at random. Sometimes you go through these cycles when you build, create, and then everything, and then you stop, you focus on facts, and everything crushes, and you go back, and then there's nothing to lose, and you go big, build again, etc. And everybody have their own place where they stop creating and they start looking at the facts until the facts kind of start deteriorating, right? So the idea here is, you've done it in the past. You know the feeling. You know the feeling of knowing. You know the feeling of certainty. You know the feeling of creation. You know the feeling of building and going. Build and go. And when you have results that are satisfactory, build and go. Operate from that idea. Continue growing it. Do not try to, okay, I got this. This is what I want. I wanted $500,000 in my bank account. Oh my God, how am I going to keep it? How am I going to, not lose it? Focusing on what is, on the manifestation, on the fact. And stop creating. Just continue, go back to that idea, go back to that knowledge, that notion that from nothing came something. So your idea that comes from knowing and comes from certainty is superior to what is, to manifestation, to facts. And keep building, keep growing. And you have all ingredients of how you do it. How you did it in the past. If you go back and you see how you did it, how you were building, and then something happened and you stopped and you focused on facts. So now you can just build and continue. Because you know how to do it. And now you know what you changed in the past. So you didn't continue building, and now you can continue. You can grow. You can come from the idea. You can come from this power that creates the worlds. You can come from this knowing, from this confidence, and build it and build it and build it and build this vision. So this was my pleasure talking with you today. Have an amazing day, and I will hear you in our next podcast. Have a great day. Bye now.